Okay, we should be live streaming now, and we get you to sign in. Down to 8 or 10 in attendance. It will pick up probably the last week of class. Everybody that's missing will want to know what they can do to pull their grade up. Come to class now, keep your grade up. But that happens. Students come by after the exams, like, what can I do? Extra work. Just stay up today, get all the extra work during the class. That happens. It's predictable. Sign it. You've been pretty faithful all semester. Georgia, I see him, he's faithful.
Do you want the Excel for chapter 6?
I'll take it. If you have Excel for chapter 6, I'll take that up. I hope that led up to a cash budget and all the little budgets. You can still do that if you want to by Thursday, Excel for chapter 6.
That's 8.
What?
That's what 6. I heard that you took it up Thursday. Do you mean 8 that we're working on?
We're gonna 8 down.
Okay.
Have I got 8? Here's 8.
I have to bring it off.
That was a long problem, wasn't it?
That's 6.
Was that 6? Okay, I'll take 6. Anybody else got 6?
Okay, that's there too.
Let's get 7. These little bonus points help out. When test time comes. Okay, we, on chapter 5, don't forget, on the next test, we will have the high-low method. That was in the appendix on chapter 5. We went over it. And then we covered chapter 6. And now we're covering chapter 7. And now we're going to have to plan on a test soon. All right? October's going to be over with, isn't it? Real quick. And November, you got a week off. And then when you come back to November, it's exam time. So we'll plan a test probably next week sometime. Probably Thursday rather than Tuesday. Okay, but at least it'll be on these 2 chapters plus the high-low method. Now on this chapter, you know you're going to have to do a cash budget. That's a given. So you have to do collections, those lag times, maybe payments with a lag time. But on a test, you won't be doing all these budgets, a sales budget, a purchase budget, a materials budget, overhead budget, a labor budget, sales administrative expense budget. I'm interested in the cash budget. Okay, Monique, what homework was due today?
19, 20, 24, 25.
I know at least 2 of those were cash budgets. So let's get your homework out of the way first. One of my accounting principal students said she was moving out on her own. So she's going to be paying rent and stuff like that. She said she'd have to plan her a budget. And one of my other principal students was eating Doritos this morning. I said, that's breakfast? He said, that's all my budget would allow. Maybe he could have gone to Japan, but put on a Dorito. But anyway, they're thinking about budget, whether they're serious or not. They're thinking about a budget. I did taxes for lady and a man one time, and he worked for the railroad, made good money. And she worked for a postal department, delivered mail, and she made good money. So they made good money. I became friends with them and did them in returns on probably 3 years of their tax for somebody messed them up. Going back about 6 or 7 thousand refunds. They ran out and bought a satellite dish and kind of get by those big old things and so forth. But anyhow, so they wanted me to help them with the budget. And when I started talking about things that they cut out, they cut out buying a gun every month. But they cut out renting movies and paying a week's late fee on every one they rented. Or could they cut out smoking? I mentioned some things they could do without. They were not willing to do without any of that. They wanted to pay their late fees, smoke, buy his gun, and go hunting and waste. And they had nothing. They were making probably today's standards, probably 150, 175,000 a year, and they lived like they were in poverty. They should budget. But they didn't listen to me, so I didn't do them a budget. But we all can talk about personal budgets. We've got wants and needs. Your needs need to be budgeted. If you got enough left over, take care of your wants. But wants and needs are not the same things, are they? Okay, we all want. Anyway, all of us are planning on winning the Mega Millions tonight too, aren't we? And if you're not buying a ticket then, are you?
I don't see the point in it.
Do what?
I don't see the point. Not with my luck.
Well, you're the type of person that probably buy one ticket and win it.
We'll never know.
Mark, I'll tell you buy tickets on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I can probably pick the ones out in here that buy a ticket. Mark, Anna, you probably will buy a ticket or two on it. I mean, Brianna and Kayla, you will not. You did not? I didn't figure you would. Adam didn't. Monique, I don't believe you buy a lottery ticket, do you? Want to buy a couple? I bought a lottery. Never had? Okay. We're probably saving the money. Okay. We're saving money. The odds are so bad against winning. But if you did win $1.8 billion times taxes and the present value, first off, if you take the lump sum, they got to calculate present value. They probably bring it down about 45%. They'll bring it down from it'll probably be at least 1.8 trillion. Probably bring it down to about 9.5 hundred million. I'll get my hundreds tonight. And then you pay tax on that, you will clear over a third. So if you win $100 million lottery, you'll clear over a third, somewhere between 33 and 40 million. But I will take it. So, all right. But anyway, people are dreaming about it and people waste a lot of money. The other day, some man came into a store and bought $10,000 worth of chicken. That was on Friday night drawing, I guess. Nobody wanted it, so he lost $10,000. Now, if he had $10,000 to lose and put it on the lottery, that spells greed, don't it? They can afford the $2,000. He wants to win that kind of money. He's greedy. Okay. and so forth. But anyway, on winning the lottery, some construction owner in West Virginia won it a few years ago. And from what I understand, it destroyed his family. Have you all heard about that one? You know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. But it destroyed his family. I don't know if his kids got on drugs or they got killed in car accidents or he spent too much on them. I don't know what happened. Too much money could make you lazy. Being lazy is not healthy. Okay. Anyhow, let's look at a couple of these problems in chapter 8 on budgeting. And we're going to have to practice these budgets. I can't force you to do it, but I encourage you to do it. Now, problem 19 on page 400 even is we have this company as a wholesale distributor, and the company's balance sheet is given, and it says the company is in the process of preparing a budget. All right, sales are budgeted at $200,000 for May. Of these sales, $60,000 will be for cash, and the remaining will be credit sales. One half of a month's credit sales are collected in the month the sales are made, and the remainder is collected in the following month. Okay, now if I've read that right, you're going to sell 200,000, right? And you're going to collect 60. Is that correct? Okay, that leaves 140. But you're going to collect how much of that 140 this month? Which is 70. So you're really going to collect 60 plus 70 this month. So you're going to collect 130,000. Now next month we'll collect the other 70, right? But now for last month, we'll collect half of whatever was left over after collecting 60, or whatever they tell us for last month. So you got to keep up these collections. All right. All of the April 30 accounts receivable will be collected in May. Now, if you look up at accounts receivable, how much was accounts receivable?
54,000.
Okay, so you're going to collect 60 plus 70 plus 54, and that adds up to how much?
184.
If you missed a collection, you missed the rest of the problem, right? No matter how good you are at the other parts, missed the collections, you'll miss the rest of the problem. Okay, getting our collections right first. 60 plus 70, and we collect all the accounts receivable. So 184 is correct. All right, that's part one. Purchase of inventory expected to total 120,000. These purchases will all be on account. 40% of all purchases are paid for in the month of purchase. So what's 40% of 120,000?
48,000.
All right, you got 48 to start with. The remainder are paid in the following month. So all of the April's accounts payable to suppliers will be paid during May. So how much was accounts payable?
63.
So 63 plus that other amount is how much?
111.
So your main source of income, all right, and your main payment, okay? Now your main source of income, you know where it comes from, okay? And you know your main source of your payments, what have you. But now you've got other payments, I mentioned before, that creep up during the year. Automobile insurance, house insurance, property taxes, real estate, personal property, those things creep up. Those are payments. Other income you might get during the year, maybe your student loan came through. Maybe you got a tax refund. And Clayton, you didn't file your last year's taxes, right?
Can you do it?
You probably got a 100% refund. If you paid in 200, you'd have got it back.
I have 130 something.
What?
$138 or something like that.
$8?
138.
Oh, 138. Well, you could use that, couldn't you?
Can you do it before? I mean, can you do it after class, please?
No, it's not that easy. I gotta bring that programming up all day. But if you bring me your W-2 form, I'll get it done for you.
Oh, it's downstairs in the secretary. She has. I give it to her, yeah.
Gave it to who?
To her, to your secretary downstairs.
Okay, we'll bring it to me and I'll see if I can't get it done. But most of my good tax preparers are graduated and gone. I can train some others in January. Okay. So anyway, and then to follow this problem through, in May, your inventory balance is budgeted at $40,000. In May, your inventory balance is budgeted at $40,000. Now, selling administrative expenses for May are budgeted at $72,000, exclusive depreciation. These expenses will be paid in cash. Depreciation $2,000 a month. Notes payable on April the 30th will be paid during May with $100 in interest. New refrigerated equipment will be purchased in May. During May, the company will borrow $20,000 from its bank. All right. Calculate the expected cash collections. We did one. Calculate the expected disbursement for merchandise. We did two. And now the cash budget. All right, Kayla, do you have a final answer on this cash budget?
8,900.
All right. That is correct. Okay, we start off with beginning cash balance. Now, where'd that come from?
April 30th cash.
Right there on the balance sheet, right? Okay, and then we added collections. All right, that's part one. Then we did disbursements. That was part two. Now they gave us selling administrative and they gave us purchases. Now back up to part two. That was 111,000, right? And that's your biggest expense so far. They gave you this flat out, buy equipment, total disbursement 189, excess cash, we got 3,500 left. Okay, well, we're gonna borrow 20. Well, we pay back 14 and a half of that, plus 100 interest. So that only leaves 5,400 positive financing. So take your 3,500 and your 54, you got 89 ending cash balance. Now, a company with a big budget, you know, I don't know what budget Bluefield State has. Probably it's got to be over 10 million. In a small school, let's have about a $10 million budget. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Okay.
I get 158. And it's not, your address is not right. Right, I'm not going to.
Yeah. It's fine. Anyway, to our international students at work, they've got to get a social security number. And they pay U.S. tax. But since they're here and they're not at home, whether their parents claim them or not in Germany or whatever country, it doesn't matter. They can claim them themselves here and get back a full refund of any taxes we deal. So, but when they are here permanent and they're working, they'll have to pay taxes like the rest of us. Okay. But now some of these, my son had a friend when he was in high school, and this friend, I forget what country he was from. It's from the Middle East somewhere. Anyway, his dad was a doctor. He must have took in a lot of cash because he kept his safe full of cash. Didn't pay taxes on it. Probably sent some back home. So that's still tax evasion, okay? No matter who it's from. Okay, so this problem wasn't so bad. That's a cash budget. Okay. Problem 20. All right, sales are budgeted for 220,000 in May. Each month sales are collected 6% in the month of sale and 40% in the following month. All right, the company pays for 50% of its merchandise in the month of the purchase and 50% later. All other information from problem 819 that is not mentioned above remains the same. So we're doing the same problem, aren't we? Okay, using the same information almost. Okay, sales are budgeted for 220 in May. Each month, credit sales are collected 60% in the month of sale and 40% in the month of May. So 220,000, how much of that do we collect in cash?
60,000.
All right, and that leaves 260. I mean, it leaves 160.
Yeah.
So 160 left times 6% is how much?
54,000.
If you add 54,000 to 60,000, how much are you collecting this month? 64 to
114.
114. All right. Well, up here we were collecting 184. Do we have any last month to collect? It's got to be more than 114. We have to collect some percent of last month. So let's see what that is. Now, on 19, you had to do a budgeted income statement. If your sales was 200,000 and you got beginning inventory on the balance sheet, they told you 40,000 and sell administrative expenses and net income. But I didn't look at the income statement with you. Then they did a balance sheet. Hopefully you did those. But I'm not interested in the statements. You should know those and understand them by now. But, okay, we got to 60,000. We got to 54. But we got to collect the remainder from May and what, 220, 60 was collected in May. That left 180. Are we collecting 60% of 180? 60% of 180 is 96. So we're collecting 210 with our new information. Now, in our old information, we collected what? 184. Well, what had changed? The sales had changed. That was it, wasn't it? Now, how about payments? How did they change to problem 20? 210. Martin, do you have that answer? 20, number 2.
Went from 40% to 50%.
Right. Conditions change. Does anybody have part 2? What they got, Adam?
It's 63,000, 60,000. It was 123.
All right, if you read the conditions, You gotta pay the accounts payable balance, that's in your balance sheet. Your balance sheet item. Then May purchase, 50% of 120, 123,000. Now, after that, didn't everything else about remain the same? So your cash budget looks like this. Collect 210,000, total cash available. Pay out 201,500. Total cash difference is 17,500. Finance 20, pay off 14,500, pay 100 interest, and you got total financing. So you have 22,900. Okay, in this scenario. So there's the same problem, just changing a couple of figures. Any questions? All right. Schedule of expected cash collections and disbursements. Now, this is not the cash budget, but the biggest part of a cash budget, as you can see, has been part 1 and 2 on both of these problems. Collections and disbursements. Like I say, if you miss it, no matter what you add and subtract the rest of the way, it's wrong. Okay? Does anybody work anywhere that you know they do budgets? Kayla, you work in accounting, right? Now, well, you work for just one company, all right? You know if that company does a budget or not?
I don't know.
Ever seen one?
No.
How big is your company? Is it a small local company or?
No, they do jobs in Colorado, Texas, and have about 500 employees.
What big company? Is it construction?
They do landscape, golf, environmental, irrigation.
Formal construction. Got 500 employees, yeah, they've got to have a budget. Okay. Most businesses should have a budget. Okay. So that company, do they have plans to expand in the other states or are they only?
Now they expanded into North Carolina.
So, do they have that in your budget? How much it's gonna cost to help you again, expanding or whatever? You had to buy more equipment, you gotta have that in your budget. You wanna replace equipment, whatever. The budget helps you do that. Since we don't get a budget in the School of Business, these old monitors here was given to this building when it was remodeled by Coe Motors, the Coe family. That's why you see the Coe's picture down in the lobby. Has anybody ever read Mr. Coe's motto down there? Have you all? You remember it? Read Mr. Coe's motto when you get a chance. You pass through there every day in the hallway. Right there on the wall. Okay? All right, anyway, that was 9 years ago. 8 years ago, something like that. So some of the equipment got obsolete. Some of the equipment's already obsolete. The monitor up here is gone. And the central processing unit down here is gone. And so forth. So they replaced it with just a simple tablet. So we don't have to have that CPU and the monitor and so on. Now, we used to have to go to Bluefield State Video Center where you get your video. Now it's on YouTube. Now I have a couple students say, if it won't come up on Moodle, they can go straight to YouTube and look up the video and it comes up better. That's a possibility if you miss one or need to do that. But what we have left out of what Cole gave us $600,000 put equipment in these rooms, that including computers and so forth. But these we can still use. We're still using the monitor. We're still using the computers and so forth. But someday they'll all be outdated. Those computers have got to start to be getting outdated already. All right, but that was a gift. I guess it went into Bluefield State's budget, and our vice president of finance, she's the one that had the budget for our school and a budget for every school. I think she has all the school budgets. Okay, they don't go to the school. Okay. All right, looking at number 24. I guess it was 24. Had it there, but lost it. So that's a cash budget and supported schedule. I don't know what I was looking at a minute ago. So 24 was the next one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're doing these, you're getting plenty of exercise with cash budgets. And you will know them. Okay, number 24. All right. Management is planning its cash needs for the second quarter. All right, we've got sales April, May, June, July. Now here it's presented to you in a different format. And this is the format I'll probably give it to you on a test. All right. But you'll have to maybe do a quarterly budget. Now, in the first two problems, it's just given to you in paragraph form, sales was for 1 month. Sales are 20% for cash and 80% on account. Sales on account are collected over a 3-month period. Because you got a 3-month lag time there. You collect 10% collected in the month of sales, so that's not too bad. So you're actually collecting 20%, right? Cash. Then you're going to get 10% of your sales that month also. That's 30%. Okay, 70% collected in the first month following the month of sale. Says a 3-month period, 10% collected in the month of sale, 70%, and then you're going to collect 20%. So you've got to keep those straight, and it does do you well to make some kind of chart to keep that straight. All right, let's see if we can sort this out. All right, April, May, June, and I guess you had March. Okay, so sales, 20% of what?
600,000.
All right, we're doing, I guess, April. 20% of 600,000 is 120.
Yes.
All right, how do we know February sales? Did it give us February sales?
Yes, in March.
All right, what did it say February sales was? I'm missing it. Yeah, they did. Okay. February sales were 200 and March was 300. Well, I don't know if this one will let me write on it or not. Some of my solutions let me write on them and some won't. When I need them, they won't. All right. Let me bring up Notepad and let's see if we can look at this. Okay, we're doing April, right? And sales in April is how much?
600,000. If you want the,
600?
yes,
Now, out of that 600,000, we're going to collect how much?
20%.
And 20% of 600,000 is?
120,000.
All right, now we've got this 3-month lag time. Now, the way they set it up, it could confuse you, so I don't know, I may confuse you more. But do we collect another percent of this 120 this month?
Just in 80% on account.
All right, we've got 80% on account. All right, how do we collect that 80%? How do we collect the remainder? Those 3 lag months. Okay, I'm going to read it again here. All right, they're collected over a 3-month period, 10% collected in the month of sale. Are we on the same problem, Adam? It says 10% collected
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
in the month of sale. 7% collected in the first month following the sale, and the remaining 20% collected in the second month. So, is this 20% or is this 10%? Am I on the right problem? All right, I may have skipped down. We're on 24, correct? All right. Sales are 20% for cash and 80% on account. Okay, you're right. You're still right, Mark. They're 20% cash. That's what I had down there. Okay. They're 20% cash. You're correct. But now that 80% remaining, how do we collect that over a 3-month period?
10% in the month of sales, 70% following. And then it was 20% following that.
All right. Don't try to add up percents. This 100% you see right here really represents that 80% is what I'm trying to say. And 80% of sales, that represents 80%. Really, it represents the difference up here, or 480,000. That's what you're collecting, 10, 70, 20. Now, if I wanted to go forward, that's easy to do. I'd multiply this by 10, 70, and 20. But I got to go backwards, don't I? Okay, so my 10% more this month would be 10% of what? $10 of what?
February.
When did it say we collected that 10%?
In the month of sales.
10%. Okay, I'm going to collect 10% now of what?
The 460 or 480.
480. So what's 10% of 480?
It's 100.
Would it be 48,000?
Yeah.
Now, Mark, you made a face there. 10% of 480. You know where the 480 comes from, right? All right, this is why I'm saying we're collecting. Okay, Mark, this adds up to 100%. Now, if I wanted to add the 10% that I collected in cash, that'd make 110%. That don't make sense, does it? But 100% makes sense of what is on credit only 480 is on credit. Now, if we collected 120 cash right here, right? How much then is on credit out of that amount? 480. So we're talking about 100% of 480, not 100% of 600. It's what can get you confused. Now, this 70%, this is 10% of April. Now, this 70% is 70% of, what was it, February? March. And what was the sales in March? Credit sales in March. Credit sales in March.
240,000.
Or what, 70% of 240,000?
168.
Now this 20% represents February, right? 20% of February's credit sales. And what was February's credit sales? Tells you
160.
160 times 20%, would that be 36,000? No, 32,000? All right, this is what I'm trying to get you to see. Okay, now let me bring that solution back up there. We got to have 120, 48, 158, and 32, and I hope we match. We may not. 120, 32, 40, do we have 168? We did, didn't we? All right, my numbers match these, but you can see I did it different because they're taking 20% of 80%. Don't need to do that. Well, 70% of 80%, 10% of 80 and 10% of 80. I didn't do it that way. I took those percent of credit sales. Okay? Now, if you want to do it this way, that's fine. But we do have to get our collections for April. All right, now our purchases, let's go ahead and look at it for April. I won't be able to give you one this long or this lengthy. I may only be able to give you 2 months or something. All right, inventory purchases are paid for within 15 days. Therefore, 50% of a month's inventory purchases are paid for in the month of purchase. The remaining 50% is paid in the following month. Accounts payable for inventory purchases during March is 126. So how much inventory did we buy? We got to pay that 126, correct? That's a must. Now, it says our budgeted cost of goods sold is 420. That should be given. 420 is what you're buying, isn't it? You got to buy it to sell it. All right. And add desired ending inventory, 126 is 546. Less your beginning inventory is 84, leaves a required purchase of 462. So you got to find that first. You got to find the 462 first. Now, out of that 462, we're going to pay 50% of it. What's half of 462 or 50%? What's half?
231.
231. All right, what is your beginning accounts payable? That's a part in your balance sheet. Or did they give it to you? No, you don't have a balance sheet. They had to give it to you, didn't they?
Yes.
126, just flat out there in your paragraph. Okay, so 231 and 126. Now, the ending inventory this month will be inventory next month, right? 287 next month. All right, 231, May, 287, June. Inventory 1 month Let's inventory it next month, beginning. Okay, and so it goes here. You needed 574. Half of that is 287. You've already calculated the 231. All right, so we got income coming in, 368. We've already got payments for inventory, 357. Just that alone, if you subtracted, you wouldn't have but 11,000 net income. That's not your only bills. You've got selling expense, administrative, and dividends. So you got a big deficit. Well, you had a beginning cash balance to add to the 368. So bottom line, you borrowed 130, take care of that 90 deficit, and that left you 40 to start with next month. Now, who has got 40,000 right here on this problem? Kayla, Monique, okay, Adam. Okay. You that are practicing these, you will do great on the test. And you that are here, you should practice, okay? All right, any question on that problem? We're taking a lot of time on these problems today. Didn't want to do that. Okay, problem 25, cash budget with supporting schedules. All right. How many of you have problem 25 finished? All right. Trying to look and see what 25 has different. Refer to data for in problem 824. Now this is a scenario like before. Now I'm going to leave this up here. I'm going to leave this up here. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you new assignments. You cannot do too many cash budgets. Do 28 to turn in Thursday as a bonus. Do 28 to turn in. It'll be just a little bit of bonus. Now, 29, I will take up on the day of the test as a bonus. Now, 29 is the bonus. And Excel problems are bonuses. Okay, 29 is a wrap up of cash budgeting. But to do for Thursday, not to turn in, I take that back because the other one, I do want you to complete 29. 29 and probably, wait a minute, 29 is your bonus, right? I'll say that was the bonus.
28.
All right, 29 to be your bonus. Just have 28 ready for Thursday. Have 28 ready. 29 is your bonus. Have it ready by test day. And I also want you to have 31 completed by Thursday. Okay, now that's your assignment. Get that straight again. 28, 31, have it ready by Thursday. It may not count anything. I'll take that back. 29 is your bonus and test it. So we got the assignment straight. Now, I want this problem straight. Now, I will look at those who have it finished. So for the rest of the period, what you're going to do is you're going to start on number 25. I think it was 25. Let me get back. 25. Now I want everybody, not just those who have it finished. I want you to try to do part one, the collections. Try to do the collections for part one, number 25. You at home should be doing the same thing, collections. Now I'm going to leave collections for 24 on the screen. I'm going to look at the answer for 25 and give you the answer. 440,000 for April. That's what you got to find. Okay, Monique, have you got 440? Mark, you got 440? Yeah. 440. Okay, the rest of you work together, whatever it takes, do me the first part of number 25. Okay, and Adam, let's see.
Just 24.
Okay.
I don't think.
You love doing that. Yes.
See ya.
You too. Enjoy work.
Hope so.
First part.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it was like 19. Oh. Go to chapter 8.
How we doing tonight, Mark?
All right.
Have you got an answer yet? For sake of time, I'm just going to show it to you, Mark, and I want you to work on it. Right here is where the 440 comes from. Cash sales 120. See, I don't do this 80-20. I do it my other way. 32, 168, 120.
That's
You able to find that?
We keep it neat, right?
Yeah, I'll keep them, Greg. Yeah.
If you do it the other way, do you still come up 32?
Yeah, same way. Well, just practice it, Mark. We'll look at it again Thursday, okay?
All right.
You can get confused in those things. Number one, the way they word them, you have to watch it.